Hello, everyone, and happy summer. I hope everyone is having a good summer so far. I have finally found some time to introduce you to my new baby, my new piano. It is a Steinway Model A from 1897. So it has had quite a history before me and probably will have a history even after me too. It's very exciting that I get to be the owner for now. um, I thought I would talk a little bit today about tips for buying an acoustic instrument. So if you think you might want to buy one sometime soon or even in the distant future, I actually think a really good book to read to help you prepare for it is this book by Perry Nize. Actually, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. It's Knize. It might be Knize, might be Czech. But Perry Nize, her book Grand Obsession. I highly recommend it, even if you're just looking for some summer reading. This is a good book to read because it gets into great detail about, how and why a piano sounds the way that it does. I found it highly informative. I've read it a few times, actually. I tend to come back to it again and again to kind of remind me of things. And this is a very complicated instrument, and there can be a lot involved if you're shopping for an acoustic piano because there's just so much going on. If you have a lot of time, it's a good idea to play as many pianos as you can. So if you're in no rush to buy your instrument, if this is like a someday I'll get one, it's always a good idea to just try out different instruments, get a sense for the way instruments feel and sound. You will already get this experience if you're playing your teacher's instrument, if you have an acoustic instrument at home, for instance, or if you're playing pianos at school, in church. Sometimes you see pianos out in the wild or like in hotel rooms or something, or at a department store, trying them out. All of that gives you an education in how pianos will feel and sound. I think in the end, it's important to not overthink it, not to get too obsessed. Actually, I don't want you to read this book thinking you need to get grand obsessed like Perry did. But in the end, really, you got to trust yourself. Go with something, of course, that you can afford and that feels nice and sounds nice to you. As long as you like your piano, that's the important thing. You want an instrument that you're excited about playing. So as long as it's something that is, precious and nice to you, I think that is the most important thing. So as far as my piano purchasing journey, I didn't give myself a lot of time to get my instrument. I wanted to get it pretty quickly. So because of that, I was prepared to spend a little bit more money. That's one of the things. If you need to get an instrument quickly, it's harder to get a good deal quickly, right? So I was prepared to spend some money. I did get it from the Steinway Gallery here in Greensboro. Actually, this instrument was at their Charlotte location. And what ended up happening was I was choosing really between two instruments. I can't remember if they were both Model A's, but they were comparable sized. And one was, I think, from 1997. And then the other one was this one, 1897. So there was 100 years difference between the two instruments. And I remember initially being very attracted to the 1997 piano because the first piece that I played on the two pianos was a Mozart piece. And on the 97 piano, it sounded so sparkly and brilliant. And it didn't have that sparkly, brilliant sound on the 1987 piano. As soon as I switched to some different kinds of repertoire, though, it became clear that the 1897 piano has more versatility than the newer one. The newer one, the reason why it sounded so great with Mozart is because it's a very bright instrument. It was very, very bright. And then Mozart, also a very bright composer. So of course, his music sounded so bright and sparkly on it. But as soon as I tried to play something more chordal, something that maybe, I guess you could say, sounds more serious, it didn't sound good on the 97 piano. The 97 piano was a little bit harsh for a lot of repertoire. Whereas this one, after a while, I realized, you know what, actually, it's a nice, versatile instrument. Lots of different pieces will sound good on this piano. So it's interesting, the first impression, I didn't go with the first impression. I gave it a little bit of time, played different kinds of pieces on each instrument, and I ultimately decided to get this one. And I've been enjoying it ever since. It feels like it's kind of too good of a piano for me. But anyways, yeah, if you are shopping for an instrument, one of the best tips that I heard actually from one of my students who had also been shopping for piano, I asked, well, if she had any tips for anybody, and she had a really good tip saying that just go with a reputable brand. So, you know, you can get really into it and try lots of different pianos. You can do it that way. Or, you know, if you want to kind of cut to the chase, just go with a reputable brand. So some of the reputable brands that I think are easier to get in the US are Yamaha and Kawai, Steinway, of course. Then there are some others that are more European brands that are very good as well, but not as common in the US, like Börsendorfer is one of the names that comes to mind. I have not tried a Fazioli yet, but I have heard amazing things about it. So there are some other brands as well, but Yamaha, Kawai, those are kind of the two big names, I think, that as long as it's one of those instruments, as long as it fits within your budget and it sounds good, it feels good, you like it, go for it. Okay, well, I guess that's all I really have to say about my new piano. I'll close by playing a little bit something on it so you can hear what it sounds like. This is my favorite prelude and fugue. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll play just a little bit of the beginning to give you a flavor. But this is from my favorite prelude and fugue of Bach's. It is from the first Well-Tempered Clavier book, the one in C sharp minor. That was just the beginning of from the WTC1 book, the C sharp minor prelude, just a little bit of the beginning. It's my favorite out of all of them. I had to play a lot in school, and that's my favorite. And it really gives you a sense of the sound of the instrument. It's so luscious and rich sounding. It's just beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce everyone to my piano. I hope you like it as much as I do. I love it so much. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great summer. If you're looking for a summer read, Grand Obsession by Perry Nyes really gives anything you could possibly want to know about how and why a piano sounds the way that it does. I think it really helped me a lot to get to know my instrument, and hope it helps you too. Okay, bye-bye.